So in one small town there lived 3 neighbors: Mr. Black, Mr. Brown, and Mr. White. Quite a colorful trio. Which one stole a necklace from the town's only jewelry store? Honestly, I don't have a clue. But maybe you do. Here are some tricky riddles you'll have to crack to earn the title of the world's best detective. Your results await at the end. Number 1. The missing jewelry. It was Mr. and Mrs. Smith's wedding anniversary. Mrs. Smith was going to put on diamond earrings her husband gave her for their wedding. But when she opened her jewelry box, she was shocked to see that the earrings were missing. She called her teenage daughters Dora and Laura. "I've told you so many times not to touch my things. Who took my jewelry this time?" Dora was indignant. "I haven't touched your jewelry box." Laura also denied taking her mom's stuff. "Why would I need your old earrings?" Are 10 seconds enough for you to figure out which girl is lying? It was Laura who stole the earrings. Her mom didn't specify which piece of jewelry was missing. Uh-oh. Number 2. The Insomniac. A man was exhausted after a long workday, but when he finally nestled down in his bed, he couldn't fall asleep. He tossed and turned until, eventually, he picked up his cell phone, dialed a number, listened to several long tones, and hung up. After that, he immediately fell asleep. How so? His next-door neighbor was snoring loudly, but the phone ringing woke the offender up and the man finally managed to fall asleep. Number 3. An accident on a cruise ship. Officer Larson was doing security on a luxurious cruise liner. One day, the ship got into a terrible storm. Most passengers stayed in their cabins since they were all seasick from the huge waves. But suddenly, the officer heard a strange noise coming from the deck. He rushed there and found a man lying unconscious on the floor. When the man came around, he told Larson that he had been on his way back to his room when somebody hit him on the head and took his money and phone. Officer Larson found 2 suspects, Mike and Jacob. Mike said that at the moment of the robbery, he had been working out in the ship's onboard gym. And Jacob claimed that he had been in the bathroom, feeling terribly sick. Who's probably lying? Mike. If the waves were bad enough to make people sick, the gym was probably closed so that the equipment didn't fall on someone and hurt them. 4. A missing soccer coach. One day, a famous soccer coach went missing right from the locker room. The detective has 3 suspects, and all of them are from the coach's team. Brandon says that after training, he stayed on the field to practice a bit more. Andrew explains that he had to rush off the field immediately after practice due to a family emergency. And James claims that the coach had still been there when he left the locker room. Who's the kidnapper? It's Andrew. If he had to rush off so quickly, he wouldn't have time to go to the changing room. Yet he's wearing normal clothes, not his uniform. 5. A friendly hitchhiker. It was a scorching hot day when Officer Robinson was driving along a country road. Suddenly, he noticed a hitchhiker on the side of the road and stopped to give him a lift. The man was so thankful. He said he'd been waiting for someone to pick him up for more than 2 hours. Then he offered the officer some chocolate. Robinson declined the treat and told the hitchhiker that he was looking for a group of bank robbers. The hitchhiker suddenly exclaimed, "A red car just sped past me. It must have been them. But they were going the other way. We'll need to turn back." However, Robinson immediately took him to the police station. Fair enough, the man turned out to be one of the robbers. How did the officer know that? If the hitchhiker had been standing on the side of the road for 2 hours on a hot day, his chocolate would have melted already. So he lied to lead Robinson the wrong way. Number 6. An embarrassing mistake. Lily, a real estate agent, was showing a luxurious home to a wealthy family. The family liked everything about the house except for one thing. The place had huge floor-to-ceiling windows, and the parents were worried that their small son might accidentally break the glass and fall out. Lily really wanted to close this deal, so she decided to prove that the glass was unbreakable. She ran up to the window and hit it at full speed. The glass indeed didn't break, but Lily fell out the window and sat there dazed and confused. What happened? The glass didn't break, but it did pop out of its frame. 7. A pencil on the floor. 5 people were asked to step over a pencil that was lying on the floor, but not one of them managed to do it. What was the problem with this seemingly simple task? The pencil was placed near the wall. 8. A strange number. You have 10 seconds to figure out in what situation do you look at the number 2, but say 10. It happens when you look at a clock. Hey, it's 10 past 10. 9. A missing exit. Once upon a time, a princess was locked in a room on top of a tall tower. She found out that she could escape only through the 4th door. The problem is, there were only 3 doors in the room. How could she find door number 4? Remember, you have just 10 seconds to help the princess break free. Look at the symbols on the doors. They're actually numbers. It means that the princess should leave through the 1st door. 10. A horrible ladder. You've been kidnapped by a crazed riddler. You find yourself at the bottom of a deep well. You try to climb up the walls, but they're too slippery. The only way to escape is a ladder with razor-sharp blades instead of regular rungs. How can you climb the ladder and get to safety without any injuries? Hurry, time's a-tickin'. Just turn the ladder upside down. Number 11. First light. You come into a pitch-dark room. You know that there's a gas stove, a candle, and a kerosene lamp in this room. Luckily, you have a box of matches in your pocket. What will you light first? The first thing you need to light is, undoubtedly, a match. 12. Mysterious patients. 2 drivers, Chris and James, were both taken to a hospital. Chris had a sprained shoulder and James was badly bruised. At the same time, their cars weren't damaged at all. You have 10 seconds to figure out what happened to these guys. The drivers got into a fight. Their cars weren't involved at all. 13. A safe place. You're walking through the forest and suddenly see a crossroad with a man standing right in the middle. One road leads to a village where a mob of bad guys live, and the other to a safe place. You don't know whether this person is a bad guy, but you can ask him one question in order to get to safety. If the man is bad, he'll lie. If he's good, he'll tell you the truth. Which question should you ask? The question should be, where is your village? If this person is innocent, he'll direct you to the safe place. If he's a bad guy, he'll lie and point toward the safe place as well. 14. The first one. Two people are walking toward each other. They're both males, the same age, and have similar job positions. Who will be the first to greet the other? You have 10 seconds to figure it out. Obviously, the more polite one. Okay, it's time to see how close you are to getting the title of a modern Sherlock. Let me know how you did down in the comments. If you solve 0 to 4 riddles, that's a true detective level of only 30%. Uh-oh, you might not want to take any cases right now, but you can beef up your problem-solving skills if you practice more. If your score is 5 to 9 cracked riddles, you're 60% Sherlock. Not bad, but you can sharpen your skills even more. Just get a bit more practice with riddles that test your lateral thinking. And finally, if you untangle 10 to 14 mysteries, you can call yourself a 100% true detective. So if something goes missing in the jewelry store next door, remember to offer your help, because you're a real gem. Hey, if you learned something new today, then give the video a like and share it with a friend. And here are some other cool videos I think you'll enjoy. Just click to the left or right, and remember, stay on the bright side of life.